So I'm Captain James Schwartz with the Draper City Fire Department. I want to show you a tour of Station 23 up at Suncrest. Let's go in real quick. So we're just coming in through our front door here, where most of the public would come in if you come in for your station tour. Just a few different things, kind of the boring stuff, right? So we've got our head of IT who has an office up here, really cool guy. He's in and out. This is my captain's office where I do the computer stuff, paperwork, this stuff I don't want to do, right? Cubicle's my nightmare. Let's come to the station. I'll kind of show you around the station just a little bit here. We call it the firehouse because it is kind of set up like a house. It's our house when we're kind of our home away from home, if you will. And I'll show you just kind of how they're set up. So main hall, here's our bedrooms. All these doors that run down the hall are bedrooms. This is mine. Sorry, it's a little bit messy. Just to kind of show you how it works. So we've got our own bed, obviously, our own bedroom. Every bedroom has 3 different lockers in it. And the reason why it does is because we have 3 platoons here. So we have A, B, and C lockers. So that's my nice messy locker with all my uniforms in it. And I share it with 2 other captains on the other platoons. So we can come down this way, just like any other house, right? So you've got your bedrooms. Like I said, that's what all these are. There's a little bit of extra fitness equipment in here. But we do have a gym I'll show you as well down at the end of the hall. This is just kind of some overflow of equipment we didn't want to get rid of. Obviously, bathroom, showers. You guys know what a shower and a bathroom looks like, so that's fine. Like I said, more bedrooms. Just I'll run down this side, enough for all of the crew. We'll go to the end of the hall here. This is the gym. This is one of my favorite rooms here. It's not huge, but it has everything we need in it, right? So you've got all your free weights. You got your treadmill in there. So definitely try to get in here hour and a half every day on shift, okay? Yay, should have had to lift a little bit. There we go. Give you a little bit, right? We got to get in here. Just for fun. I'll show you the next favorite place is the kitchen, right? Let's go to the kitchen. Oh, we'll stop here real quick. This isn't anything too exciting. This is just a little community room we have. So if there's any meetings or anything, or we need to talk to anybody up in Suncrest, or chiefs come up for a meeting, we'll set this up, tables and chairs. We can put PowerPoints on the TV. We've got a whiteboard. Just kind of the community room, if you will. And just kind of a little bit of storage. We'll clear this out if we have to use it and stuff. So, but just kind of some things end up in here. Follow me. We'll go to the kitchen and the day room. So here's our day room, right? Just like anybody else's house. We got the kitchen. We've got the TV area, right? So we don't get in the recliners as much as we'd like to, but every once in a while at night, we'll come out here and kind of relax, watch a movie, watch some TV or whatever. We do a lot of our trainings in here as well, so we'll pull up stuff on this TV. We'll do a lot of online training here. Whiteboard where we'll do hydraulic calculations or kind of talk about fires afterwards, or to-do lists like I have right here. Kitchen over here, right? Just like anybody else's house, we make all of our own meals. We buy all of our own food. We've got great cooks in the firehouse. One of the most important things in here too is the coffee maker right over here. We got to make sure we have plenty of caffeine for those nights that we get up and we need to stay awake. So that's really important, right? Let's show you out here. We'll run out to the little patio area real quick, and then we'll show you the apparatus bay where we keep the fire engine. So right here is where we've got our Blackstone. We've got our barbecue grill. We have a Traeger smoker over here that a nice gentleman donated to us years ago. And then just kind of our patio sitting area out here. Perfect time right now to come out. And then what all the kids, all the people want to see, they want to see the fire apparatus. Let's go out to the bay real quick. So when we get a call, we'll run out here. Oh, don't hide. There's Mike, firefighter Mike McClellan, engineer Monty Strand right here. They're just hanging out because we're filming and they didn't want to get in the way, but here they are. It's perfect. This is Medic Engine 23. So this engine's a little bit different than maybe some of the traditional fire engines or trucks that you've seen. This is called a Type 1-3. So it's more of a wildland type rig, which is perfect for up here at Suncrest. So we can do some, mild off-roading, dirt roads, different access and stuff. It's more set up for kind of the wildland interface. Then we'll go over here, show you some more stuff we got. We've got a side-by-side right here. Since we have so many miles of mountain bike trails, we use this to take down those trails, pick people up. Obviously, you can see we've got all of our medical equipment in the back. We've got this basket, so we can actually go down the trail, load them up in the basket, and then bring them out on the side-by-side. We also keep a water tender up here in the summertime. That's 3,000 gallons of water ready to go in that truck. So if we ever have an issue with a fire hydrant, or we get back into an area where we're fighting a fire and we don't have hydrants or a water source, we can bring this and use that water. Also, to go along with the side-by-side, we also have e-bikes that we keep right in here. So we've got 2 of these e-bikes for the fire department. So if there's some really tight spots we can't get into with our side-by-side, we can throw our medical gear on our backs and ride the e-bikes in. So that works out pretty well too. And that's about it for the station tour. We've got a workbench over there. We generally have an ambulance up here as well. Unfortunately, one of our other ambulances broke down, so we sent them ours so they could use it down at the busier station. But that's Station 23. Come by and say hi. You know how to drive this, so you drive and I'll go.
I'm the engineer in this scenario.
Yeah, you do it.
Yeah,
I'm still in the captain's
driving
seat.
the fire truck. All right, welcome back to the podcast. Today we have Captain Schwartz, also known as James Schwartz. And I made sure to use this title because it's important.
Very important.
Well, it's nice to meet you, James.
Nice
I'm going to call you
well.
James, just so it's easier to say.
Yeah.
So James, I've never done an interview with you before.
Nope.
We've never met before, but we did meet on Facebook. So I want to kind of bring people up to speed on how we know each other and then go from there. We met each other through a message, right?
Yeah. So we had that vehicle fire about a month ago, and I got on the Suncrest Facebook page and noticed that you had done a drone video. And it's not very often that we get footage of us fighting fire, right? Because we're not worried about filming ourselves; we're about doing our job. So and I just noticed it on there, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I wonder. I actually opened the video, watched it. I tried to save it and realized I couldn't save it, right? Because that's your video.
Okay.
So I messaged you, if you remember, about, hey, could I get a copy of this video, use it for training, talk to my crew, kind of a little after action with the video, just kind of what we could have done better, you know, things like that. And then you invited me on a podcast, which I've never done a podcast. So I don't have anybody to blame but myself, right, for being on a podcast, right?
He was very reluctant to do it. I'm just kidding. He was super easy to work with.
Yeah.
So I found that fascinating because when you sent me the message, the first thing it said was, hey, this is Captain Schwartz.
Yeah.
And I was like, shoot, I'm in trouble.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to scare you. It was just like, no, this is cool. We don't get footage of us doing our job too often, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So it turned out I wasn't in trouble, but I thought I was like maybe breaking some protocol for like firefighting, like it might have been a dangerous thing or something. But I'm glad it wasn't, and I was happy to send it over to you guys to help train you guys. But I was curious, so like when you were watching the footage, like there was a lot of things you were doing right in that situation, right?
Yeah.
There's and could you call out the things that you remember? Like, was there anything specific you saw? You're like, wow, this is we trained our guys.
Well, first, when you're talking about your video too, I did notice in your drone footage you were up really high and out of the way. I could tell definitely you were very mindful of where your drone was. I could tell by the video because honestly, I remember telling my guys like, man, I wish you would have got like zoomed right in a little closer, but you could tell that you were up really high as to not mess with the scene or what was going on. We didn't even know there was a drone. We couldn't hear anything. Yeah. Obviously, we still had our stuff on. We're fighting fire. We don't know what's going on. But I think you started the drone footage maybe 2 or 3 minutes after we initially got there. Probably took a few minutes to get your drone up and start going. So we already kind of got that first initial knockdown, got the fire out in the grass adjacent to the road, got good knockdown on the fire in the vehicle itself. And so the drone footage kind of comes in as we're mopping it up. We've got fuel leaking out of the gas tank and stuff, so we're trying to catch that as it's going down the road and everything. And so you see me kind of coming in there with the dry chem extinguisher, trying to get to the fuel tank and things like that. And by the way, for people watching or listening, cars don't generally explode. when the fuel tank is ruptured, they just leak and it's hard to chase and you gotta get it out. But your footage kind of comes in during that, kind of sees, where both our lines are pulled and kind of what our priorities are and what we're doing. It was just a really good, broad view of the scene itself, which was really cool just to, for several reasons, right? Where we pulled our lines, where our engineer placed their apparatus. Like every time we go on a call, we talk about them every time after a call because we want to know what we can do to improve because we're perfectionists that aren't perfect, right? So we want to try to improve every time. So that was an awesome video for us to look and kind of dissect and see. So,
and I want to call out something that I think you pointed out that I liked. We were chatting a little bit before. You said you're a perfectionist. I call myself a sloppy perfectionist.
I try to be a perfectionist. I try, yeah.
But that seems to be a trait amongst your peers too. You're all really focused on quality and service. Those are big parts of your jobs.
Absolutely.
So why is that a big part of your job? Why is that so important to you? Doing things well and making it good.
I think the easiest way to answer it is if we have a bad day or we make a mistake, that could cost somebody their life or their home or whatever. You know what I mean? Not to get too dark with it.
No, that's good.
But if we are not up to date on our training, our fitness, I mean, there's so many aspects to our job and what we need to do to take care of to do our jobs well. And I think it'd be pretty hard pressed to find anybody in any profession that wants to suck at their job or not perform to the best of their abilities, right? So for us, it's a pride thing, right? We don't want to just get the badge and the T-shirt and show up for fun. We want to make a difference and do the job well.
So the badge is really, it's an earned, it's not just a badge that you wear and protect with, it's something you earn and you feel like is a part of your identity.
Absolutely. You have to take an oath, and you're lucky enough to take an oath to the department or city that you work for to get that badge.
There's an oath.
Absolutely.
I know nothing about firefighting. So this is fascinating.
When you get hired, and every person that gets hired initially, and every promotion that comes with it, every new badge you get, you take an oath of that office, right? Essentially, right? And to that city, I took an oath to Draper City. I've taken it several times in the different positions I've been in, and we take it pretty seriously. You know?
And what's the big decree or the big takeaway of the oath? Like, what's the main takeaway that's in your head as you're out there in your gear fighting the car fire in the situation? Is that going through your head? Are you thinking?
Maybe not the oath specifically, but in a broader term, right? I guess the main theme of the oath is that we're going to carry out the duties of our office to the best of our ability.
Okay.
Right? And that's kind of the theme of it is we're taking this oath that we're going to show up, we're going to make things better, and we're going to give it 100%. Right? And I always make that joke. I'm not going to stop till my heart stops. Like, I'm going to keep moving forward.
Not going to stop till my heart stops?
Right. We just keep going.
Wow.
That's what we do, right? I know that's very dramatic, right?
I like these big dramatic statements, though. They're good.
But, when you're fighting a fire and, you go through an air bottle, you go out, you get the second one, you go back in, you go out, you get your third bottle. You just keep going until the task is accomplished.
So that's something I've always wondered, and you know this. You can't breathe in a fire. There's no air.
No, it's burning, not conducive to breathing. So yeah.
So you have an oxygen tank.
It's actually just so it's not oxygen because 100% oxygen is flammable.
Okay.
So it's just air. It's just ambient air. We have a machine at one of our other stations that just pulls air and then compresses it down into our bottles, and we have about 30 minutes roughly of working time, and that time changes based on your cardiovascular, your fitness levels, things like that. So maybe if you're a little overweight or out of shape, you're going to suck through a bottle quicker, or if you have a lot more muscle mass, more oxygen demand, right? So you're going to suck through the bottle. I can usually get to about 25, 30 minutes working in a bottle.
So do you guys use that as a standard of fitness, like amongst each other? Like, hey, how many bottles do you need?
Yeah, in my crew specifically, usually about once a month, we do an on-air workout. So if there's anybody out there watching or listening that has driven by the station on random days that we're working, they might see us running around the station in full gear, breathing air. We'll do laps, we'll throw ladders, we'll, do tire, sledgehammer hits on the tires out there.
Really?
We'll do up, downs, push-ups, whatever. We do it on air, and we'll just suck an entire bottle down until our alarm goes off, and that's our workout. So we do that about once a month on my crew.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, you can come by anytime. I'll throw a pack on. You can do it with us.
I want to do it with you guys. Yeah, sure. Can I do it with you?
Yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem. You'll hate it. Yeah, it'll suck.
You're like, we might need more bottles for Jordan.
Yeah, but I'm one of those guys that I think you should put that. Just remind yourself constantly of that stress that the weight of the equipment and breathing through that apparatus does to your body.
Yeah.
So that when you actually get to the real fire or the incident, you're good to go because you're used to that, right? Because when we put all of our gear on, that's another 40 to 60 pounds on top of our own body weight that we have to now work on.
40 to 60 pounds?
Yeah, it just depends on what tools you have and what you have. So it can be a lot of weight.
So like the jacket, the pants, the boots, it all adds up to around 40 to 60.
Yeah, it just really depends on like what you have in your pockets, what hand tools you're carrying. But we add a lot of weight to ourselves. So we like to, train with that weight resistance and put those on. And a lot of guys train with weight vests too, just to have that stress on our bodies.
So if you roll back the clock and think, do you remember the first time you put that gear on? Was it a shock to you? I've never put it on.
Yeah, it was a shock to me. Yeah. And I guess just to get a little personal about me, so I, growing up, I didn't really have a lot of education about like fitness and diet and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I was actually pretty overweight when I was in like late teens, early 20s. So the first time I put gear on, I was 300 pounds. I was a big boy.
You were?
Yeah. So I've had about 120 pounds off for about 17, 18 years now.
How many pounds?
120.
My word, dude. That's a ton.
Because the first time I put that gear on and I weighed that much, I was sucking a bottle down in 10 minutes because I just had so much demand and I was so out of shape. Oh my gosh. And I just, like I said, I had no education for that stuff. I wasn't brought up in that environment about eating right and exercise and all that stuff. And I remember the first time I did that, my knees were killing me. My back was on fire. I was sucking a bottle down in 10 minutes. And I was like, if I really want to do this for a career, I can't be effective this way. I can't be this weight and in this shape. Like I have to do something. So the following year, I lost over 100 pounds just in that year after that. Like I just, a switch flipped and I was like, I got to change my life, and just hard charger ever since, right? Just
And you look fit and young today, like you have no health problems that I can perceive.
I don't have any health problems. I'm not perfect, right? I can't wash clothes on my abs by any means, but
we don't know that for certain. But
you wouldn't know it to look at me. But I'm a runner. I love cardio.
Really?
But
that came with the job. Like you didn't have that lifestyle shift until you started working.
No, a few things happened at that time in my life, early 20s, where there were things much bigger than myself that I needed to take care of, right? I was with my wife shortly before we got married. I found out I was going to be a dad. I wanted to be a firefighter. I had all this weight to lose, and then just a lot happened. I remember, I think when I was 24 years old, just in that year between 24 and turning 25, I'd lost all that weight. I had my first kid. I got married, bought my first house, got hired full-time as a firefighter. Like, I just went hard and just got it all done, right? And started going, and it just all worked out.
Have you had anything that intense happen since in sequence like that many things back to back to back?
No, but I'm definitely one of those guys that look for the next opportunity.
Yeah.
And I don't mean next opportunity to like elsewhere, right? But just the next thing
growing.
Not necessarily promotion, but just like the next educational opportunity, or the next, I don't know, the next marathon to run, or the next trip to take, or whatever. I'm always looking forward to things.
Do you do marathons too?
Yeah, sure.
Dude.
You wouldn't know by looking at me, but yes.
That's wild.
Yeah, I've done 4 fulls and about 50 half marathons. And
50?
And I did a duathlon once, just the running and biking, because I suck at swimming.
Dude, I sink like a stone, dude. I don't know what it is, but I jump in water, I just...
Right. We'll go Princess Bride. I only dog paddle.
Yeah, dude. They could do dog paddle triathlon, right?
Yeah, so that's what I do.
So 24, you got into firefighting, but we were talking a little bit off camera before this about what kind of drew you in. Yeah. And it's not just a coincidence you're a firefighter. There's kind of a backstory there. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah. I don't know. We probably need hours and hours to go too far into the backstory, but I had a pretty chaotic childhood, very unstable. I moved a ton growing up, just never in one place for very long. Just not a lot of positive adult role models in my life and stuff, so just very chaotic, right? I'll just say it that way. Mental illness in my family, lots of different things, and I just grew up with a lot of traumatic things around me, a lot of events that, just kind of shape who you are and stuff. But I remember just always wanted to help in some way, but I didn't know how I was supposed to help as a kid, right? I'm just a kid, I can't do anything. And as I got older, I remember people always confided in me a lot. People always wanted to talk to me. People would tell me things that they never told other people, and they trusted me. And to this day, I still have people that do that. And I take it as a huge honor that people trust me and want to talk to me and open up to me. And I think that's really cool. And I've never asked for it, but it's been amazing that people just feel like, I guess they feel that from me and they can just talk to me. So naturally, when you grow up with a lot of trauma and a lot of like chaotic things going around you as you're growing up, this job it was just a fit. When I started getting into it, it was like, oh, this is easy. Like, there's a lot of traumatic things. There's chaos, there's noise, there's screaming, there's blood, there's whatever it is. And I can focus with all of it going around me and just work.
Really?
And so this job just worked for me.
So it's almost like the trauma was beneficial in this type of line of work.
Yeah.
Because you could take that and make it something good.
Yeah, because I knew that's a lot of what I knew growing up was chaos and instability. And so for me, I thrive in that environment. It just works for me. And there's a lot of us like that.
That
have had, tough upbringings or certain experiences that we had that we're like, oh, I can do this because I can be calm during the storm, kind of, so to speak.
And that's honestly who I would want to come save me from a car fire or from a house fire. Somebody who's felt that internal fire, or not to use a pun, but to use that.
We did all the puns before.
We did the puns before. I tried to get on my system.
Right.
But just to keep that stable kind of a presence. And you definitely have a stable presence when I'm talking to you. I don't feel stressed at all.
Yeah, and it's funny. I thought I was going to be nervous to do this with you, and I'm really not. We're just talking.
Cool,
it's good. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, and not to get into gory details, but I remember the first time I had another human being's blood all over me. I was just like, all right, let's go to work. Like, we can clean clothes, we can take showers, no big deal.
So was there a first time? It was the first time you put the equipment on and you felt that switch? There's a lifestyle shift in your health. Was there ever a switch? And did that perspective come with the job, or was it pre-known? Is it predetermined? Because you grew up in that kind of chaos, and then you were gravitating towards firefighting. But was there ever a moment where it clicked for you that that's what I need to be doing? Because 24, you had a big shift. And that was part of it, right?
Yeah, I don't think any fireman can say they fully understand what they're getting themselves into, or they fully understand I guess, how to prepare to what they're going to see and smell and hear and experience. So yes, maybe that upbringing was a good foundation for what I was going to do, but it's definitely on the job learning experience. You know, the first time you see somebody deceased or a very traumatic event or amputations or fires or whatever it is. I mean, they're all first times for you, even though you've experienced other things. It's in real time. It's in front of you. And quite literally, first responder, we're the first ones there. So we have to figure out how to put it back together and do what we need to do, right, for the scene. So yes, the background helps with the job, but it's always learning on the job. I learn new things every day. Wow.
So that makes me wonder, like, you have so much life experience in this role, doing this as your career. And part of that is experiential, right? Going out and helping people, but also running into these really gory situations, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember as a kid watching them take the jaws of death and cut the roof off of a car.
Jaws of life.
Jaws of life.
Jaws of death sounds terrible. That would have been a marketing mistake.
Might have been a metal band or something. I'm misquoting.
Right. The jaws of death.
The jaws of life. This hydraulic, and it was in the 90s. I think it was like a newer technology. Maybe it wasn't. But it wasn't super old then. They were like demoing it to the general public, and I was sitting there with this little fair thing, and they're in this parking lot, and they drive this car up, and they I think they lit it on fire or something, and then they put it out, and they cut the top off, and I just thought, these guys are hardcore, dude.
Yeah.
I was like 8, you know.
Yeah. And I've seen certain demos as a kid too and stuff, and I kind of a little side thing, like I'm a big sticker guy. I don't know if you see the badge stickers, right? Like I always have them in my pocket. So I'm a big sticker guy. That's like every time I get a new guy, that's the first thing is like, hey man, how many stickers you got in your pocket? They're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, stickers, get them in your pocket.
Really?
Because I remember as a kid getting a sticker from a fireman or a police officer.
My son gets them and he loves them.
Super cool, right? So I always go out of my way. My crew knows if they better beat me to handing out stickers because I'm gonna beat them, right? Because it's just a fun thing, and it's like, what do these cost? A penny? Like they're nothing, and it's so easy to make an impact on that, right? But that's.
Did you ever? So as a kid, you'd get them and you'd kind of keep it and try to keep it from getting ruined. And
I remember getting them, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And it's a sticker, right?
I had some that I put in like a drawer that I wouldn't use, so they would stay nice.
Yeah, right. Because what am I gonna do? Same thing. I think I still have a Ziploc bag full of random stickers. I'm like, I gotta keep these nice, so one day I'll put them on something. Right?
I can't ruin the stick. Right. It's got one good chance,
and I have to put it on something really cool, right? So whatever.
Once it's placed, it's ruined. Yeah, that's awesome. So. I love the backstory of why you got into firefighting, but there's a lot you've done since getting into it, and I kind of want to explore that. Sure. So you've gone through a lot of levels of this type of job. Where is it? So if you have a new person coming in, what are they starting out doing? Like what are the jobs that they're doing, and then where do they go from there? Because people watch this might be curious to join you. They might want to join you in this field. Yeah,
I've had a few residents that live up here that have thought about career changes, and we do have one family in particular that's visited us a few times over here because the husband is looking at maybe getting into fire service. So I'm like, call me anytime, come over, we'll talk about it. I'll give you the truth. I'll tell you what you need to do to get started. But we talked about it a little bit off camera too about going to EMT school first. I always recommend that first, going to EMT school first, because like I told you, 90% of what we do is medical. So you're not just gonna be sitting around fighting fires all day, right? That's not what we do. So if you can't handle medical emergencies or blood or certain things, then it might be a tough transition to get in this career if that's something you can't deal with.
So have you ever had somebody come in and they don't realize that, or maybe it wasn't, they were suppressing it and all of a sudden they're like, I can't?
Yeah.
Does that happen often, or is it?
I wouldn't say extremely often, but I've had a handful of times over 16 years where they've been like, you know what, I'm out, or they make it a year or two and they're like, I'm not built for this anymore.
Really?
So
the job obligations, the oath and everything is just continual, but the actual job responsibilities are based on an at-will basis, essentially. You work at will and everything.
Right, and then obviously I think we discussed before too about kind of levels in the fire service. I think maybe you were curious about that as well too. So you start out as just kind of a probationary firefighter EMT. That's kind of the base of it. Is you have to have certain fire certifications and your EMT certification to start. And then you work, you usually generally 6 months to 1 year, you're on probation, right? That's just to make sure you work out, that you are, you're bringing something to the table, you're participating on calls, you're an active, active member of the crew, not just.
So like here in the station, like there's.
Station calls, working out, training, whatever.
Doing bottles.
Active participant. You're into it. We usually learn pretty quick off if you're hungry or not. Right? If you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to progress, we can tell pretty quick. Most of us that have been around a while. And then we can tell if maybe it's not the right place for you, or maybe it's not the right, fit.
What are those indicators of a like, these are the things that are common, like these are the commonalities across all motivated, hungry group people? And then what are the ones that are like not motivated? Can you tell right off the bat, or is there a trend?
Yeah, usually it's, you got to kind of get to know the person a little bit here, like kind of like this, right? You're getting to know me and stuff. And we feel them out for a while and get to know them. And sometimes we'll do ride-alongs with people before we actually interview or hire them, right? Just to kind of get to know them a little bit. And you can usually tell off pretty quick because they're asking a lot of questions. They want to know everything, almost annoyingly so, right? They just want like, well, how does that work? Show me that. What is this? Why are you doing that? And I actually love that personally. I love it because it makes me nervous if I have a brand new guy in my crew that just stands there quietly and doesn't say or do anything. Because I'm like, are you okay? Do you understand what's going on? Why aren't you asking questions? This is odd. Because to me, I want to know everything that's going on so I can learn. So pretty quick off the bat, we've been fortunate here at Draper too, that we've had a lot of younger guys that are very hungry like that. They ask questions. They want to work out. They come up with training ideas and stuff, because there's tons of things we could train on, right? We're jack of all trade, masters of none, because we do so many things and wear so many hats, right? But when they're coming up with trainings, or they want to cook dinner or whatever, you can just tell they've got energy, right?
They're excited
they want to participate. And then occasionally, not like I said, not too often, but every once in a while you get somebody that's just quiet, or they're withdrawn from the crew, or they just have a hard time maybe meshing in and stuff like that. And you're like, hey, what's going on? And and some of those times they're just shy.
Like,
and they're
chilling.
just maybe they just grew up on a phone or an iPad and they're just nervous around people, right? And we got to break them out of a shell, right? So.
And you've been able to do that with some, like, hey, let's get you going, and because you're functionally the leader of the group here. I mean, you're the one
of one crew, this crew,
which is that's a big deal. I mean, your title is an earned title. It's not just given. No, you have to earn it, right?
Yeah. Well, when it comes to my position as a captain specifically, I set the tone.
Okay.
Or we also have people on other crews that we call it the senior man. Those are guys that may have been around just as long as I have, and they don't have that title, but they have those leadership qualities. They have those abilities. They know what they're doing. They could sit in my seat when I have the day off. You know what I mean? And I did that for 5 years before being promoted. I was acting in as a captain on and off for 5 years. I did it for a long time as that senior man, as that senior medic. So we have a lot of informal leaders that don't. So when we kind of joked in the beginning about my title and Captain Schwartz, right? We have
Captain.
We have a lot of leaders in the fire department that don't have formal titles, right?
Right.
So we have those senior guys that are awesome, and that's great. And we want to be on calls because they make a difference, right?
I would say the job almost needs people to be a leader, because they have to lead people to safety. They have to lead them to.
Right.
You've got to lead people in to do out of a house burning. And you've been in a burning house before.
Sure.
I mean, that's such a wild thing to think about. I've never been in one, but you've seen it more than once. And so, like, how does that shape your perspective on just things? I mean, you live a regular life outside of work.
Sure.
Has it changed how you see things? Is your perspective different than mine? It has to be.
I would say it is, right? That doesn't sound like arrogant or anything, but my mindset is definitely different the way I look at things. And, there's always jokes between me and my wife and stuff, because I always like to know where exits are. And, I'm the biggest one yelling about kids wearing helmets and seatbelts, and like, I'm the safety guy, right? And, I'm just, I guess I just see things differently or I look at situations or I don't know, just events differently than other people do. I'm looking at like how I can get out of there, how I can help people, how I can save my family. Like, it's almost detrimental, right? At times, like, I've literally been sitting on a beach with my wife before, and I am so antsy, and I have a hard time calming down. And that's a pretty common thing with firefighters, police, military, first responders, because we are in a profession where we are always at a heightened state of readiness, and we need to be ready to go out this door in this rig when those tones go off.
We even joked like, hey, if there's smoke come up anywhere, he's going to jump in this fire truck and
we'll reschedule. We'll shoot the rest later, or that's the end of it, right? So
Which you were gracious enough to put a kind of a pause on your schedule, but it's still very much you're on call to go right now. Which is incredible. Yeah. So you've been on vacation, sitting on the beach, and been like, I don't know about this.
I'm super. I think we develop. I don't think it's something we just get the minute we take the oath and get the badge. But over time, we just get this heightened sense of awareness, and it just doesn't stop. And it's funny because there's been times I've been at home in the middle of the night and I jump up because I think I hear the tones going off, and I'm jumping up looking for my pants and my boots and think I'm going on a call for about 10 seconds. And then I realize I'm at home and my wife's right there in bed and I'm in my room. And it's like, okay, I've had that happen a few times, not a lot, right?
Yeah.
But we're just always, you sleep different at the station than you sleep at home. The first night I go home, I sleep like I'm dead to the world. My wife, she's like, you are out. The second your head hits the pillow.
Yeah.
Here, I don't sleep very well. And we go in kind of hills and valleys of sleep because our brain is always on duty, right?
Because you'll get off of a call where there's a fire.
Yeah.
And then you're spending that time winding down, but you don't fully wind down because you could be out right after. Have you had it where you come back all of a sudden you're out again? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
How do you wind down?
I don't know. Best you can is just sometimes whether it's vegging out from the TV or reading a book or whatever.
Okay.
Like last night, we got up at midnight on a call here. We had all gone to bed about 10:30, 11 after we finished watching a movie that night or last night, and got a call at midnight. And then I came back after the call. We got back about 1, and I lay there till like 3 because you're just. You're up and you're awake and you're thinking about the call. Man. You're thinking about, I don't know if everybody does it, but I do it. I think about, could I have done anything differently? Is there anything else I could have done? Or should I, could I tweak something? I'm always like, just in my brain going through a review of every call because we want to be great at what we do.
Yeah, yeah. I really appreciate that you do that and that you're willing to get up middle of the night and serve.
It's part of the job.
Yeah.
It's part of the job.
I mean, it's the highest level of service, in my opinion, because you've saved us here in Suncrest, hundreds of times.
I don't know about me personally, but all of us as a whole.
You're representing the group, right? And there's been times where I've seen people posting pictures on the Facebook page and calling. I'm sure they're calling, and you're getting the call, and you're running down. We've seen guys out there spraying down grass fires and stuff, and it's I'm always in awe of how fast you can get to a fire and put it out. Yeah. I can't even get to the grocery store fast. You're out there in the middle of a field with the fire hose doing it.
That's our job. We're paid to respond quickly, right? Yeah. And it's funny you bring up the Facebook page too. That's where we, not all of us, but a lot of us see cool videos or pictures of us doing it because we don't, we're not too worried about, like I said, videos of us being taken or pictures. But that's where we see a lot of our cool footage or us arriving. Like I think the Potato Hill fire was on there as well, and we were the first engine on scene for that too, and began the fire attack. And so that was cool to see videos of people when that was going. Obviously the drone footage you took. There was the taco maker fire down before the Potato Hill fire. We were first in on that too.
Was it just this summer?
That was just in the last month, right? It was in the last month.
This is just a Tuesday, right?
Yeah, so that was in the last month, 5 weeks or whatever. So
man.
So it's cool to have all those residents come out support us, but then they do. What does everybody do? They get their phone out. And they take pictures and videos, and it's kind of cool. And we can look at them and and we can see a broader perspective of fires or incidents and then kind of look at them and dissect them like your drone footage.
Yeah. And I love giving, if you need more of it, I'll try to shoot more and give it to you directly. And so you're not having to ask,
Sure.
But I think people don't realize that you guys don't see yourselves that often because you're usually in the helmet going, right?
Right. So, we're so hyper-focused on what we're doing that to us, that secondary, tertiary stuff, we don't really care about that stuff. We want to just focus on what we're doing. So that's an afterthought later, a few hours later, and then I just got on there and saw your footage, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool. I had no idea somebody was filming that. So
it must have been cool to see what your men were doing and what you were doing in that situation and what your training had paid off to do.
Yeah, and just for that one specifically, it went great. Got there fast, quick knockdown. Everything went well. Yeah,
and so close, you could get back and have lunch.
Yeah, I think we were over there like an hour and a half, cleaned up, came back. It's all good.
So incredible. So there's a lot to firefighting and being a fireman, right? And what for you is your favorite part about it? I know there's a constant learning part about it. There's this. I can tell that it's in your bones. You do it. It's your whole thing that you like to do. But what is it that makes you get up at in the morning and say, I like doing this. I still want to do this because you've been doing it for how many years now?
It's been 16 years.
16 years.
Yeah.
And that means you have some deep drive that's still pushing you to keep going through it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that drive me. At first, it was, I think initially proving something to myself that I could do it and I could make something of my life and something that mattered and serve people and be that guy that showed up and made things better and helped, right? And then as time progresses and you get married and you have kids and a mortgage and all these different things, right? Then there's different motivators, right? But the core one is that first one, right? You got to remember why you got into it and what you started doing it for was to help people, right? I love interacting with the community. Yeah. But again, as I got married, had kids, there's other things that motivate me. I mean, I have all my family's names on the underside of my helmet. So every time I put my helmet on, I see their names and I remind myself.
You wrote it in there? Like
just did labels of their names and stuff in there. That's
Cool.
to remind me why I'm doing it, why I'm being safe, who I'm going home to when I'm done. You know, it makes it more personal, right? And to remind myself what I'm doing out there for, right? And to be a good example for my kids and my own community and my family and everything, right? It's pretty cool when your friends and your family are that proud of you. Like, oh, that's, you know, that's my brother James. He's a fireman and a paramedic, or yeah, my husband does this, and they're so proud of you. And that's a big responsibility, you know, and I'm here for it. It's great.
Well, and on top of that, you also, I mean, I feel cool talking to a fireman, you know, like I feel like this is cool. I know it sounds cliche, but like I was a little boy once, and I used to look up to, so it's really cool that you're willing to do this, but also the fact that you have the experiences to kind of back it up, you know.
Sure.
It's not your first year in the job, you've been doing it for 16 years. One thing that I think is the coolest thing as a kid was being in a parade. And do you have any fun? Do you have any stories about doing that at all? Like,
oh yeah, we've done parades. I've been half a dozen parades over the years, right? I guess you're not always working on the day there's a parade, or you don't sign up for the shift, but throwing candy to kids, or handing out stickers, or the plastic fire helmets, or whatever, or maybe spraying them with a little water, not the big hoses, right? Just the light stuff, not too crazy. But yeah, and I've worked for other departments part time and full time as well. And done all sorts of parades, and I think we talked about, you know, doing like going to community parties or block parties, or, you know, little street parades and stuff. I've done all that stuff. That's just good PR, right? Yeah. And I think at least for us in Draper, I'll only speak for us. We love the community here, and we have a ton of like awesome support from Draper City, not just the residents, but the mayor, the city council, all those guys. It's really cool. They love us, and we love them too. They're very supportive of us. It's cool.
And I would say there's something we talked about off camera that I want to bring up that I think is really critical, is that you kind of founded this whole unit here to a degree with the mayor and everything. Yeah,
not personally, but a member of it. So a founding member. Essentially. So our chief and our battalion chiefs that are here, many of the captains and a lot of the medics and firefighters that are still here today. So we've been a department for 8 years now. Actually, Draper City Fire Department.
Officially sanctioned
for 8 years. We just hit 8 years last month. And a lot of us came from other departments. I had almost 10 years at a previous department. Came to Draper, took kind of a risk. You know, you leave something that you know and that you're used to, and that you know the department that you grew up in, essentially, right? But all of us that came over, I would say 95% of us came from another department, because we saw this opportunity to create something new. And it was exciting, a little scary, but exciting, right? To kind of not start over, but start something from scratch. Because most of the departments in the Valley here have been established for 80, 90, 100 plus years. The department,
80, 90, 100 years?
Yeah, the department I came from had been a department for over 100 years. So it was, you know what I mean, to come here, and now I'm at an 8-year department as a founding member, but it's kind of cool to be a part of that, right? And say that you're a founding member.
So what makes it scary? Is it the processes, or is it the culture you're losing? What is it that you're losing, or what is it that makes it scary to start a new one? Because it's not common people do that. No,
it's I think one, it's retirement, right? So you have to hit a certain amount of years to be able to retire. So when you leave halfway through that, it's kind of scary, because you're starting over somewhere else. So if it doesn't work out, or you don't like the culture that's forming, or whatever, or you just maybe you get with a crew that you're not jiving with, or whatever it is, right? Interpersonal stuff. It doesn't really matter. It's scary, because you're like, oh no, can I go back to my other department, or can I move on to another department? I don't want to move again. You know, like I'm going to retire at Draper Fire. I'm not going anywhere.
You're staying here for...
I love it here. Yeah. I'm having a great time. I've been having a good time. Tons of work the first 2-3 years. Like a couple times I questioned my sanity, right? Because we were just building everything from scratch and building programs and putting rigs in service, and tons of overtime over the years, just trying to get things, you know, off the ground. But yeah, I'm so happy with the decision I made to come over and start a new department. But yeah, there's a lot of worries and a lot of concerns from people, like, if it doesn't work out, or if I go over there, can I go back to my old place? Or are they going to not want me to come back? Or do I have to look, you know, same thing?
It's like starting your own business, kind of. I mean, you're functionally starting from zero, right? So you have to go find all the equipment and bring it in, order it in, everything. Like, you have find your own things. Yeah.
So like I said, we already had the 3 stations that we had, because they were ran by a previous department that ran a lot of, you know, stations in the county, in Salt Lake County. Yeah. So we had that, but we had to get all of our apparatus. We had, you know, the fire engines, the truck, the ambulances, the staff, all the all the equipment,
Budgets,
and everything.
getting all that figured out.
And get the city to buy in on everything.
my
And
word.
and luckily, with like I said before, with our mayor and city council time, they were so excited to have a fire department started and everything. So they helped us a lot getting that going. But a lot of hard work on both sides, everybody.
So it sounds like they're big fans of your. Is it a unit or
Department?
Department.
Yeah.
They're big fans of you guys because you represent a successful venture. And that's
been very successful.
wildly successful. And
Yeah.
just from a public's perspective, you guys are 100% on top of everything. Like when we were out there at
I think we're pretty close.
we're at the HOA events if they happen. They used to happen more frequently.
Right.
We would see you guys out there, and our kids would run over, and you'd let them, sit in the truck sometimes. So cool.
Yeah.
But then we'd see you guys out there, stopping a car on fire. I mean, it's like you're covering all your bases, and those are the easy things you're doing as far as like the things you can do in front of us. But all that behind the scenes stuff of keeping this running. Keeping your crew motivated, keeping everybody on task. It's got to be a lot,
Yeah, definitely.
So.
There's days more than others where I go home and I'm just like, I need a minute. Yeah, I just take a break, right? But that's why as my family, we love to travel. Like my two favorite things are travel and concert. So I decompress with music. I decompress with traveling. Like that's a lot of what we do. So we definitely take time to step away and take some time off here and there, right? But but we have cool systems here. We have vacation. We can do trades with each other. So I can work a shift for another captain if he needs a day off or he's got a family thing. We help each other out. It's we always kind of say we're a family, right? And we kind of are.
And you guys functionally live in it's like a house in here. I mean, like I walk through.
Yeah, we call it the firehouse.
It's a house.
Yeah. So we have a living room, we have a kitchen, we all have our own bedrooms.
Yeah.
And we live here 48 hours straight and then go home for 4 days.
Essentially you're a Suncrest resident because you don't live in Suncrest, but you live here in Suncrest in the firehouse.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mention that because when you ask to join the Facebook page, you have to be a Suncrest resident, and so it asks, "Are you?" And I said yes, and I wrote 10 days a month I am. Right, so I'm a part-time Suncrest resident, right? But yeah, we're up here roughly,
10 days at a time.
10 days a month is about what we end up.
Wow, it's back-to-back days at times. Like, what's it look like? Is it like 5 days in a row, or
48.96? So 2 days on, 4 days off is our schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have 3 platoons. So
wow.
You work your 2 days, the next platoon comes in for 2 days, the third platoon comes in, and then I'm back.
Wow.
So we're on day 2. So we go home. I go home tomorrow at 7 a.m. So we start at 7 a.m., go home at 7 a.m.
It's kind of nice, actually.
Yeah. So it's great because if you need some time off or you want to plan a vacation or do whatever, I just take that 48 hours off and then I've got 10 days off. Because you've got that back 4, the next 4, and that 2 off, and that's 10 days. So it's perfect.
Dang. So you can actually travel. You can actually go somewhere and not really burn through vacation time. So where do you generally go travel? Like, what's your favorite place you've gone to? You go, this is the place to
I've
be.
been to a lot of places with my family. And we've actually made it a point over the years the last, I'd say 6 or 7 years, we take our kids with us everywhere. It's not just me and my wife. We take our children everywhere. Yeah. So
you got more than one now. You have a couple.
We have 3. I have 3 kids.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've taken our kids to Japan. We've been to Ireland a couple times. We've been probably a dozen different countries in Europe.
Dude, that's cool. That's
South
crazy.
America.
How old's your youngest then?
He's 11.
Okay, so it's actually manageable. It's not like
12.
you're.
Yeah, we waited till they were all out of diapers, a little more self-sufficient, nothing too crazy.
Youngest. How old's your oldest then?
18. She just graduated high school. Yeah.
You're only like 40. What?
Yeah. Well, we started young because we didn't want to be old grandparents. We want to be fun, active grandparents.
So 23 was your first. Or 20?
Yeah, 20. I was 24, which is
24.
I'm 42.
42.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So she's 18.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's been kind of a eye-opening experience to like say you have an adult child now.
Yeah, what's that like?
18.
My kids are little. So
yeah, it's weird. Yeah, because and she's amazing, right? She knows what she's doing. She just me and her. She's like the 18-year-old female version of me. Like we share a brain. Like she's the most like me.
Really.
And she just gets life. I don't know. She just gets everything, and it's just exciting to see her.
Does it sometimes drive you crazy that you're dealing with yourself sometimes?
No, actually, we have the best relationship. Me and my oldest.
Yeah.
I butt heads with all the kids.
She's watching this. What's he talking about?
She knows. Yeah, we like a lot of the same music. We like a lot of the same things. She can finish sentences. I can finish hers. Like it's scary
cool.
a little bit. But yeah, just to kind of see her grow. And she's starting college in a couple weeks. And
where's she going to go to
weird.
college?
She's starting just generals at Slick.
Okay.
And then she wants to transfer to the U or UVU. Okay. So one of those we'll see. But yeah, she wants to go to into sports medicine, something like that.
Really?
So,
did you inspire some of that decision by doing?
No, I've never actually pushed anything specifically on my kids. I've always been pretty candid and open with them about what I do and stuff. I've never deterred them, from doing what I do, but I've never been like, you should be a fireman and an EMT and all this. It's up to them. I said, I don't care what you do as long as you're happy.
Yeah.
Just be happy.
Good outlook.
Contribute something to your life and to others, and just be happy. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're a janitor, as long as you're happy doing it, right? But my oldest, I always knew she was going to be something, maybe in the medical field or something where she is of service to others as well.
Yeah.
And my boy, he likes, mechanical things.
How old is he? He's
11.
11?
Yeah,
Okay.
or he's kind of a salesman too. He likes to always try to come up with neighborhood businesses. Like his newest venture is spraying for weeds for the neighbors. So of course I have to buy all the weed killer for him. And he goes around and has he made his own little business cards. He's got a sales pitch.
He did?
So he's going to be a salesman of some sort. But
That's so awesome.
and then my middle, she I think she'll be a teacher or something like that. She just likes to teach people.
Likes learning, but also likes sharing.
Learning, likes teaching, likes sharing it.
See, all your kids like sharing in some way. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we have some small part to play in that too. And my wife's awesome, and she's had to put up with me working so much over the years.
She's helped support the family and keep things stable at home. And
when you start in the fire service, you don't make a ton of money in this line of work. I mean, you can do pretty well later on. Like obviously, this stage of my life, I do.
It rewards you as you go.
Good.
Yeah.
But my first 6, 7, 8 years of my career, I had 3 jobs. So I rarely had a day off, and she had to hold down the fort and take care of kids. And
so on your days off, you'd work another type of thing. Like on your 4 days off, you'd be
and I tell, it's funny because I give a lot of advice that I never took myself as a young firefighter. I tell young firefighters, like, don't, if you have 2 or 3 jobs, that's fine. But don't do everything in fire, EMS, or whatever. And that's what I did. I worked full-time fire. Then I worked for another fire department part-time. And
that's okay.
I've actually been teaching EMT for 15 plus years.
Do you still teach EMT?
I do still teach, yeah.
Wow.
Actually, I teach for Canyon School District. I teach at the tech center at CTech, yeah.
You go in and you teach like students?
Yeah, on my days off, I'll go in once or twice
a
week, and I'll teach EMT at CTech. I think this is my 13th school year.
Or because you like to do it more so now.
For sure.
You're like, I just enjoy this.
It's extra money, but I love teaching these kids. They're 17, 18-year-olds, so they're all seniors.
Really?
I got to leave this to somebody one day, and I'd love to say that I helped teach these kids, that I'm passing this job over to.
So have you seen some kids that you taught come into the program at some point?
Yeah.
Dude, that's got to be so cool.
Yeah, we actually have people in this department that I taught when they were
Here?
young. Yeah, that worked for Draper.
No way.
Yeah.
Do they think you was like an old man now because they knew you?
Maybe, yeah. I'm an old man in the fire service. I'm
not
42.
gray yet though. You're not no
Well,
gray.
it's because I shave it. You can't see it. If I had a beard, you'd see it in the sides. But
You should grow you can't grow the beard because of the respirator.
Yeah, we gotta have a seal for our mask,
right,
and
that's right.
that's okay. I'm not a big beard guy anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Mine's not that good. I do it because I'm lazy.
No, it looks clean. It looks good. But no, it's over the years I've taught thousands of kids, and it's really cool. I've seen them in hospitals. I'll be in a hospital dropping off a patient. I'll just hear, "Hey, Schwartz," and I turn around. It's an old student of mine from 10 years ago or something, and they're a nurse now, or or whatever, or they're another firefighter or medic in the ER. And there's lots of students that work at different departments in the valley that I've taught. Like I said, we have a couple come through Draper that work here that were my students. Like it's cool.
Wow.
It's pretty rewarding to see you made a little bit of a impact on somebody.
I would say that that's just as impressive as working as a fireman, like all the years. Because you have this legacy you have this legacy group of people who know who you are.
Yeah, I have a lot of pride in that, almost
Yeah.
as much as I have in this. It's really
I didn't even know that was happening until you mentioned it just now.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
When you just talk candidly, I guess things will come out. Like there's a lot, right?
Yeah. Well, I know you have to keep your schedule, so we've been going for about half an hour.
Okay.
But I would love to just invite people to meet you guys at any point if you do that type of thing.
Yeah.
So like, where's the best place they can meet you guys and get to know you guys? Is it Facebook? Is it like, how can people get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, so Draper City Fire Department has Instagram, Facebook, all the social media stuff.
Things, yeah.
But if you ever want to come in and do a station tour, see the engine, bring the kids, whatever you want to do, you just got to call our main number, talk to Stephanie, who's her executive secretary. She's amazing. She's awesome. She'll schedule you a tour time.
Yeah.
You can come in. Anybody can do it.
You can just come and do a tour?
Yeah, anytime.
I could like bring the kids and do like
Absolutely.
a tour?
Yeah, anytime.
Really?
And I'm kind of an impromptu tour guy too.
Yeah.
I love, I don't know if a lot of people, have you ever seen us at Smith's grocery shopping, because we have to get our food for the round, right? Which, by the way, we pay for ourselves. You're not paying for it.
Yeah.
That's a misconception. They think they buy our food. They don't.
I'll buy you some food.
Yeah, they don't buy our food. We buy our food, and that's fine. But I love showing the engine off to kids in the parking lot at the grocery store, handing out stickers and swag, right? That we always keep swag in the engine and stuff. Or driving down the road, you see lemonade stands. So I love to stop at those, buy lemonade, give some stickers out, do whatever. So yeah, anytime you see us out and about, come say hi to us. We're not shy. We're not scared. Yeah. It's okay.
People sometimes think like you're like, serious,
Yeah,
but
I just look serious, but I'm actually really nice.
I'm stoic, but I'm happy.
I have a really good
I've got the same
resting
problem.
face. Yeah, very stoic, right?
I've got this Northern European face that
Right.
just looks angry.
Well, I'm Schwartz. I'm very German, so
Is it German?
yeah, very German.
Yeah, Gibby is Welsh, so
Okay.
we're probably cousins.
Adjacent.
In some,
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you from your job, so really gracious of him to share his time with us, and please keep supporting them any way we can, and thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, of course.
So, thank you so much.
Happy to do it. This was great.
Yeah. Okay.
Jaws of Death sounds terrible.